HoloNet on Mojo 50 Radio. The millennial conservative resistance begins right here, right now.
Oh, yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, the new millennial conservative resistance does indeed begin right here, right now, with you. You are listening to, and damn, I hope you're watching the HoloNet on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50 Radio. Also available on Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, occasionally when I upload it, because, yeah, you know what YouTube, okay? Just all right, they're not nice to me. I uploaded my most recent video there, and then there's like a 3-month gap. Why? Because YouTube decided to me. Yeah, I hate YouTube. So I love my YouTube audience, all 75 of them. Like, share, subscribe, click, please, because the algorithm is just stabbing me in the testicles repeatedly just to watch me bleed because they hate conservatives. I think I figured it out. I think it's just that they hate all conservative content creators, and they want to destroy us all. That's just what it comes down to. But I digress. Enough pissing, moaning, and complaining about YouTube. It is Saturday. It is the year of our Lord 2021, August the 28th, in the long, dark winter of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The Biden-Harris regime in full effect. And my God, we saw it in full effect this week, didn't we? Didn't we? After the extremely rapid collapse of the Afghani government and the takeover of the Taliban, things have only gone from bad to worse. This past week, we had at least 2 horrific attacks on the Hamid Karzai Afghanistan International Airport, known as HKIA. If you're listening to General Mark Milley talk to the press, he talks about HKIA or Hakaya. That's what he's talking about. You know, because if they use acronyms, you know, maybe the people who don't keep up will be like, what? What are you talking about? But yeah, HKIA. They're talking about the Hamid Karzai International Airport, which is now our embassy / military outpost / as long as the Taliban lets us stay there. It's pathetic. If you missed it last week, make sure you go back and take a look at it. I had, right here on the HoloNet, on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50, I had Mr. Teddy Daniels. Mr. Teddy Daniels is running for Congress in Congressional District 8 in Pennsylvania, Scranton, old Sleepy Joe's hometown, apparently, if you believe his campaign stump shtick. And it was a hell of an interview. We had him on for almost 45 minutes. It was fantastic, and he has an amazing story to tell. He actually survived a firefight in Afghanistan. He served there, was deployed, and combat veteran, Purple Heart. And he has a video that's out there on YouTube. His combat camera, his head cam, is the most watched combat footage on YouTube, 45 million views. This is an extraordinarily brave man who's taken up the mantle of going to Washington to fight for the American people. So I like him. I think he's going to do well. I hope he can get elected. Teddy Daniels, check it out. That was last week's show. That's on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble. You can also find it back in the Spreaker back catalog, which I'm tweaking a little bit. I'm working on that, but it's going to start looking a lot better. Enough housekeeping now. Let's get to the show, Matt. You know, have a point. I don't have that sounder pulled up. I haven't used it in a while, but it's true. Now, real fast, real on the quick fast, did want to say a big thank you to our Mojo 50 audience. You guys have done a fantastic job of supporting the network of late, and I want to ask that you continue to do so through shopping with our sponsors. Our sponsor, MyPillow, use your promo code MOJO50. Whether you agree with Mike Lindell or not, they have some fantastic products. I use the Giza Dream Sheets, and they are absolutely wonderful. You can get your MyPillow Premiums, lowest price ever, $29.98. Use your promo code MOJO50. They have dog beds, they have towels, they have slippers that are amazing. You can hop on there, find it all. It's a great way to support, number one, a wonderful American business. Number two, not only Mojo 50, but a multitude of amazing conservative news outlets and conservative broadcasters also advertise through MyPillow. And it comes down to now, we have a bifurcated economy. We have a bifurcated political system. It's split down the middle, and you can go to Walmart, You can go to Target and Bed Bath & Beyond and pay their outlandishly inflated prices to fund their companies training their employees in critical race theory and Marxism, or you can actually go to a good American company for your betting. So shop with your dollars, folks. Now is the time more than ever to shop with your dollars. Locate for every purchase that you need to make. You need to now have political considerations in mind, and it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Big floppy donkey ones. I don't know why my sensor didn't work there. What the flip? Oh, that's aggravating. Oh, I'm a goof. I unplugged it. Anyway. Yeah, I'll use this one. Yeah, it sucks. I need a producer. Come on. It sucks. And we got it. All right. This is going to be one of those clips that Kinsey takes out for for the Tin Can Radio program. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked it out, check out Kinsey. He's a great guy. Puts on a fantastic show. But as I was saying, you need to shop with your politics in mind now. You need to think about, is this company upholding my values? Is this company fighting for the America that I want? And My Pillow's in that fight. You know who else is in that fight? PrepareWithMojo50.com. PrepareWithMojo50.com. That is My Patriot Supply. And you can go to PrepareWithMojo50.com. Now's the time to get ready, kids. Now's the time to get ready. Why? Because we have two halves of the country which are experiencing completely different realities, and I'm going to show you that today. Today, we're going to be breaking down the video of Joe Biden addressing the nation after the bombing attack in Kabul. Okay? This video has been going around a lot, and this image of Joe with his binder like this on the lectern with his head down has been going around a lot. We're going to break this down. We are going to cast aside any possible misinterpretation of this motion, and we're going to examine it for what it is, because he is getting lionized in the media right now. Oh, he's so sensitive. How can you criticize him? He's grieving. His son went to Afghanistan, and you're making fun of him for showing emotion. It is complete and total bullshit. That's not what you're seeing. That is what the mainstream media and the leftists are trying to cast and trying to portray. Another great one is he's showing amazing patience for that Fox News hole who just won't let him finish his head. No, that's not it either. If you like Peter Doocy or not, it doesn't matter. He asked a good question. Joe tried to duck it, and he rammed it down his throat. And he wasn't the only one to do it either, and I'm going to show you that. Even the mainstream media sources are attacking Joe Biden over this horrific debacle in Afghanistan, this absolutely despicable, dishonorable exit that we have taken, which is utter brain damage. I had Teddy Daniels on the show, served in Afghanistan, understands the logistics there. His big complaint was why in the ever-loving, earth-rending, and he didn't cuss, I'm adding that for flavor, why in the world would you shut down Bagram Air Force Base? Leave the airfield open. And Jen Psaki tried to answer as well, it's more central to Kabul and all that. What, we can't arrange motorcades from Kabul to Bagram? That was more dangerous an idea than having one airfield out, surrounded on all sides by Taliban, and now ISIS-K, which is, you take the organization that the CIA created accidentally, you throw them in prison in Afghanistan, then you let the Taliban take over, who lets them out of prison. It sounds an awful lot like we're engineering opposition here, doesn't we? Doesn't it? Doesn't we? All right, so let's get to it. I was talking before. My Patriot Supply. Go to preparewithmojo50.com, preparewithmojo50.com. Get ready, kids, because peanut butter hitting the fan. All right? So let's go really quick now. We're going to do this upright. I am going to start this in context when Joe Biden started taking questions from Peter Doocy. Now, he had just finished his remarks, and he said, I'm going to take one more question. You know, I'll follow what I've come to coin the Crowder rule, and I'm going to roll back a full minute before. All right? Just so we have maximum possible context. Let's see here. As we're coming in at 23:02, so I'm going to start out at minute 22. Here we go. Minute 22. Let it load. We're going to roll. Here we go.
Know of such and such a group of people are trying to get out. They're on a bus. They're moving from other people. And this is their location. And there have been occasions when our military has contacted their military counterparts in the Taliban and said, this, for example, this bus is coming through with X number of people on it, made up of the following group of people.
Just for context, this is Biden admitting that our military is sharing lists of people with the Taliban. What a Department of Defense expert said is effectively a kill list.
We want you to let that bus or that group through. So yes, there have been occasions like that. And to the best of my knowledge, in those cases, the bulk of that has occurred, they've been let through. But I can't tell you with any certitude that there's actually been a list of names. I know there may have been, but I know of no circumstance. It doesn't mean it didn't exist. That here's the names of 12 people, they're coming, let them through. It could very well have happened. I'll take one more question.
All right, here we go. So Peter Doocy is about to ask a really solid line of questioning to Joe Biden that he is not prepared for. I guess he decided to be a good sport and call on Fox News or something, but he was not ready for this, and it shows.
Wait. Let me take the one question from the most interesting guy that I know in the press.
The most interesting guy that I know in the press. Joe, just tell us you think he's an asshole, okay? Just stick with the truth, all right? Here we go.
That's you.
Mr. President, there had not been a U.S. service member killed in combat in Afghanistan since February of 2020. You set a deadline, you pulled troops out, you sent troops back in, and now 12 Marines are dead. You said the buck stops with you. Do you bear any responsibility for the way that things have unfolded in the last 2 weeks?
I bear responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened.
Now I'm going to give the devil his due. That's a good answer. I bear responsibility fundamentally for all that's happened of late. If he could have stuck with this line, if he could have stuck with this reasoning, this concept that, yes, I am ultimately responsible for all of it, he probably could have won the respect. Not the support, maybe, but at least the respect of a lot of conservatives out there. But he just borks it.
Late. But here's the deal. You know, I wish you'd one day say these things. You know as well as I do.
Here it comes.
That the former president made a deal with the Taliban.
Oh, you couldn't not do it, could you, Joe? You just couldn't keep your mouth shut. You couldn't stay on course and go, no, it's my responsibility. No, straight to blame Trump.
That he would get all American forces out of Afghanistan by May 1.
Which every defense expert I have spoken to, including Teddy Daniels last week, confirmed was not only logistically possible, but simpler than what we're doing right now. Imagine, if you did a full court press, rush evacuation to get everybody out right now, starting from January 20th, when Joe got sworn in. Okay? Starting from that day, you said, day one, get him out right now. Get him out so we can make the May 1st deadline. Get him out. They would have been out. All odds, half the casualties. Would the Taliban have still taken over the Afghan government? Probably. Might it have gone to a power sharing agreement of some kind? Possibly. Why? Because there was a threat of force there. There was a threat of implied force from President Trump. And the ink was still wet on the Doha Agreement. The Doha Agreement was still in full effect. He could have said, day one, as President of the United States, I'm not going to say constitutionally elected president, but he was holding the office. He could have said, day one, get him out now. Everybody. Full evac. Everything that ain't nailed down. Fire sale. Everything must go. Every Humvee, every MRAP, every helicopter, every Black Hawk. Let's go. Everything. All the paperworks. Don't even leave a paperclip. That's a little throwback to Operation Paperclip, by the way. But he didn't. He didn't. So he's laying this blame game on Trump and stressing that it wasn't feasible. And kids, don't you believe it. It's bull.
In return, the commitment was made, and that was a year before. In return, he was given a commitment that the Taliban would continue to attack others, but would not attack any American forces.
I'm going to call him on this one. The record shows that the offensive of the Taliban against the Afghan National Army, the ANA, began May 1st. May 1st. During the entire active period of the Doha Agreement, there were few, if any, major skirmishes between Taliban forces and the Afghan National Army or National Police Force. Very few. The vast majority were with this so-called ISIS-K in 2017, 2018. Okay? The Taliban, the worthless holes that they are, the pieces of human that they are, began their assault May 1st.
Remember that? I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you a question. Because before... No.
Boom! Peter Ducey, you can barely hear him, but you can see it on the closed captioning. Peter Ducey says, Donald Trump is not president right now. He isn't. He hasn't been president since January 20th. Biden had let's be nice, May 1st. So he had he had ass end of January, all of February, all of March, all of April. He had 3 whole months plus a week to make it happen. He had over 90 days. You're trying to tell me that the largest logistical machine in the history of mankind cannot pull out, I guess our pullout game's a little weak, cannot pull out in 90 days plus? Bull.
Wait a minute. I'm asking you a question. Is that accurate? The best.
About, but Mr. President, respectfully, since that I don't think that the issue.
Okay, here it is. Right here. Right here. I'm going to roll it back. He asked him, is that accurate to the best of your knowledge? That President Trump arranged all this a year before and that there was an agreement in place, and he says, but Donald Trump isn't president right now. And Biden pushes him. Is that to the best of your knowledge? Is that to your best? Yes, but it's irrelevant, sir. Donald Trump is not president. You are. And then when the reporter Peter Ducey refuses to bite, refuses to engage in this absolute nonsense deflection, Joe crosses his fingers, like this, I think, puts his hands on his binder, leans it on the lectern, and puts his head down. In frustration. Because he's trying to run away from this, and Ducey is not letting him. Peter Ducey, whether you like him or not, did a hell of a job in this press conference. He did an excellent job. He nailed him. He needs to be acclaimed for it. And Biden should forever be in shame. He should be impeached for this. For this right here. For this moment of weakness. On top of everything else, for this moment of weakness. This image, I believe it was Cassandra Fairbanks, editor-in-chief of timcast.com and writer for Gateway Pundit. I believe she said it on Twitter that this is the image that will be captured by history of Joe Biden's presidency is him with his head down because he got a hard question, tried to deflect, and the press wouldn't let him. Let's see it again. So he says, made a deal with the Taliban that he would get May 1st.
Deal with the Taliban.
I'll let it run the whole way.
He would get all American forces out of Afghanistan by May 1. In return, the commitment was made, and that was a year before. In return, he was given a commitment that the Taliban would continue to attack others, but would not attack any American forces.
This is a mischaracterization. I know I said I was going to let it run. The agreement was between the United States and the Taliban. It was a ceasefire agreement. No, it didn't include anybody else. It didn't include the Afghan National Army. It didn't include ISIS-K. It didn't include the Pakistanis. It didn't include Uzbekistan or Tajikistan or any of the Stans or Iran or anybody else. It was the United States and the Taliban. They made an agreement. They made a ceasefire. And he's saying it as if they would not attack any American forces. They attack anybody else. Yeah, that's called a bilateral ceasefire between two parties. You mook. Here we go.
Remember that? I'm being serious.
So he's making a point that is no point.
No, I'm asking you a question. Because before... No, wait a minute. I'm asking you a question. Is that accurate, the best...
About, but Mr. President, respectfully, since that I don't think that the issue that... do you think that people have...
There it is. This is the image that the world will remember Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. This is the image right here, where he's getting hardball from the press for the first time in his entire presidency. For the first time. I'm sorry, for the first time since the Obama days. He's actually getting a hardball question. And he can't handle it.
Have an issue with pulling out of Afghanistan or just the way that things had happened?
I think they have an issue that people are likely to get hurt. Some, as we've seen, have gotten killed, and that it is messy.
Because you made it messy.
The reason why, whether my friend will acknowledge it or has reported it, the reason why there were no attacks on Americans, as you said, from the date until I came into office, was because the commitment was made by President Trump, I will be out by May 1st. In the meantime, you agree not to attack any Americans. That was the deal. That's why no American was attacked.
Yeah, it's called a ceasefire, you...
And you said that you still, a few days ago, you said you squarely stand by your decision to pull out.
Yes, I do, because look at it this way, folks. And I have another meeting for real. But imagine where we'd be if I had indicated on May the 1st I was not going to renegotiate an evacuation date. We were going to stay there. I'd have only one alternative: pour thousands of more troops back into Afghanistan to fight a war that we had already won relative to why the reason we went in the first place.
And that right there is the foulest piece of bullshit that he has been trying to push and that Jen Psaki has been lobbing at the press for days. This false binary construct that there's only two options. You pull out fast and now, or you send thousands upon thousands of more troops. No, it's a lie. Don't believe it for a second. Music means we're running out of time for this half. So we'll be back. Got a lot more to get through. Stick around. You're listening to Holland on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50 Radio.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everything is sexist, homophobic, or it's racist. When life gives us lemons, we're supposed to want to change it. But my generation rather take some pills than escape it. Say that I'm transphobic if you wanna, but one day I'll be a father. And I really hope my son don't grow up to be my daughter. I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, skin should be a little thicker. That's the problem, being honest got them triggered. The kids are getting weaker cause they're sheltered by society. Pumpkin spice Ativan for seasonal anxiety. Wokeness has become a way to bully non-violently and cancel everyone without improving on the life we lead. Without the white, there's no black. Without the straight, there's no gay. Without the men, there's no women. Without the night, there's no day. Without the idiots, we couldn't laugh at them when they fall. So maybe we need them after all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have the guts to the ball. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everyone's obsessed with making stupid people famous. If a white boy raps, then it's called appropriation. But Beyonce does her hair blonde and people say she slayed it. Everybody's outraged, everybody's mad. Our solutions to the issues don't make no sense. If stairs are the problem, we build wheelchair ramps. We don't cancel feet or persecute the people with legs. The feminists who started the movement would be ashamed of so many things. They fought so you can vote, I show your butthole on OnlyFans. I'm not a bad person cause you don't like what I say. Call me homophobic just because I think straight. I love people even though we disagree. I wish we could get Wi-Fi signals from a tree. Then everyone would plant them and we'd probably save the planet for free. Too bad we only need them to breathe. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have the guts to the ball. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Classifying people by their sex and race degrades them, but we still say straight white males are the worst of our population. Guess the labels are okay if they're Caucasian. Our kids are living in their rooms, I swear we barely ever see them. Go outside sometime, there's fresh air you could be breathing. Put your phones down, play sports, do something illegal. Go and meet your families, they're probably nice people. These days you're a Nazi if you don't hate the police. They say that white folks think all Asian people are Chinese. I'm sorry, what kind of white people you mean? English, Scottish, German, Swedish, or Greek? And Black Lives Matter was problematic. It excludes anyone without the pigment, it's automatic. I understand all the reasons it happened, but including all humans is the actual answer. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have the guts to the ball. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum dum.
On Mojo 50 Radio. The millennial conservative resistance begins right here, right now.
Welcome back, guys. I'm sorry. I just received some horrific news. I'm almost out of coffee! No! 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 DM at DM! Help! You need to go and create HoloNet fuel on American Pride Roasters. Come on, dude. Look, I'm almost out. I'm almost out! Look how low that is. Oh my god, it's so low. My hand's shaking. Ah! I'm almost out of coffee. What are you gonna do? Anyway, as fun as that was, make sure you get over to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Historically great coffee. Looks like the website's undergoing a little bit of a facelift, but don't worry, it still works. You can get the off-track blend right now for $12.75. You can get on the roof, $20, same as downtown. Silent Cal's 3-pound box, the Calvin Coolidge APR Gold. Make sure that you are getting up some of that American Pride Roasters coffee right now. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. AmericanPrideRoasters.com, the proud sponsors of Mojo 50 Radio and the HoloNet. DM, Dave, seriously, Booby, baby, HoloNet Fuel. It's easy. Hazelnut and chocolate. You got it. It's right there. There's the flavor profile. Hazelnut and chocolate. It should taste like you're drinking a Ferrero Rocher. All right? HoloNet Fuel. Come on, man. I don't even think he listens to this show. I really don't. I honest to God don't. Somebody tell him. Get on Twitter right now. Let's start HoloNet Fuel hashtag tag DM at DM. Please. I need you guys to start this campaign. I need the jackholes. Jackholes assemble! I need the jackholes of Mojo 50 to assemble and unite as one and look to DM in Des Moines because it's Dave in Des Moines, owner of APR Coffee, AmericanPrideRoasters.com, AmericanPrideRoasters.com, and tell him, Dave, make HoloNet Fuel. Make it. Do it now. Do it now. Anyway. Is it so much to ask that the host, who probably is the most obsessed with coffee on this network, has his own flavor of coffee? I don't know. I might not be as obsessed with coffee as Brad is. Brad is, he likes his coffee, doesn't he? Brad Staggs, the Stag. Yeah. Brad's brown bag, $17, 1 pound. I actually picked one of those up. It was very, very good. All right, guys, so that's the end of that shtick for American Pride Roasters. By the way, I want you to go check out Romika Designs, RomikaDesigns.com. Use promo code HoloNet. Should be working by now. They have relaunched their affiliate program, so the Romika family, in case you don't know them, there's our boy, Big Daddy Ron Phillips, Ron on the can. Big Daddy Ron there, his family business, they are doing some fantastic gifts and engraving. I have purchased several myself. I purchased a hammer that holds a place of honor on top of my father's mantelpiece. He loved it for Father's Day. He's a construction man. He built houses for like 3 decades, so he loved that. Got my mother and my father-in-law beautiful knives, laser etched, engraved. It's fantastic stuff, okay? They have some amazing products and services. Several of them designed specifically for Mojo hosts. We don't have the HoloNet mug on there yet, but that's on me. That's not on them. I need to get them a high-quality logo. But look at this stuff, man. Look at it. COVID booster shot. Your custom design here. Willis Imports. Wine and Dine. I am 76% sure that nobody's taking my gun. I love that one. That one's good. But yeah, look at this stuff. It's fantastic for gifts. I love the laser engraved 50 cal ammo canister. That is awesome, and it's only like, wait, that's $45. That's $45. Damn, my birthday passed already. All right, guys, check it out. RomikaDesigns.com. RomikaDesigns.com. Now back to the show. What we were looking at. By the way, I do have to say this, especially for copyright purposes. If you were sticking around for the video here on YouTube and on Facebook and on the Rumble and BitChute, and you're wondering why you keep hearing Tom McDonald at the half. Number one, Tom McDonald's awesome. I mean, I am not huge into rap these days because I don't like mumble rappers and I don't like speed rap. There were only a couple of really decent speed rappers that were out there. Slim Shady back in the day, if you can get past the horrible things that he actually rapped about. And Busta Rhymes way in the back when. But this guy is solid. His rhymes are absolutely lethally tight, and he's speaking truth. He is speaking truth in the language of the day. He's speaking truth to power. He is punching up, and he is slapping the establishment in the face with truth. And I think it's beautiful what he does. It's fantastic. If you have the time, check him out. And I am not getting monetized on a single good... I almost dropped the GD. Oh, man. Ron will be pissed. On a good thing. Not one thing except Rumble. So please, if you haven't yet, get on Rumble, subscribe, throw me a Rumble my way, and start watching the videos on Rumble. Okay? I'm almost tempted to pull them off of Facebook, but I know that's where most of you live and where most of you catch my show. But if you can't do it, get on Rumble. I'm not live streaming there yet. I'm working on that. Working on it. I will be soon. But the thing about Rumble is Rumble will actually monetize me. Sometimes. YouTube will never ever monetize me ever under any circumstances ever. Even if I get 10 million subs, they will never monetize me. I've already seen the code on my page. Writing's on the wall. Quite literally, they are never going to monetize me. So I throw a Tom McDonald song at the half because A, I like it. B, I think you should like it too. And C, somebody might as well get paid for my friggin' videos because I ain't gonna. So, you know, he puts a copyright claim on him. Actually, his system does automatically. And I say, fine by me, dude. You make money off it because YouTube ain't monetizing my ace. It ain't going to happen. I'm not looking for it, okay? They don't want me. But I digress. What we were talking about Joe Biden and the absolute BS that they're trying to put forward that this Afghanistan crisis can be laid at the feet of President Donald Trump. It is a lie. It is a false binary. And I love that somebody tried to call out Jen Psaki on it the other day, and she was struggling. She was dying up at the podium. She looked like she just wanted to cuss the dude out because he pointed out that it's a false binary. Why didn't they start leaving in January? And she's like, well, you know, it's easy to judge from the back when you're not involved in these decisions. No. The military experts in the Pentagon were screaming, we need to get out now, 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 and nobody listened. Point blank, from multiple sources, defense experts were telling the Biden-Harris administration to get out of Dodge. In one ear, out the other, all right? So there are a couple of outlets that actually had the testicular fortitude to really report on this conference, okay? Among them, the Gateway Pundit. Christina Layla writes, Joe Biden on Thursday gave a press conference on a terror attack in Kabul that left 12 servicemen dead. Biden was visibly exhausted and sound winded as he read his teleprompter. Biden called on a pre-approved list of reporters and mumbled through his remarks. Fox News reporter Peter Doocy confronted Biden on the deaths of the 12 U.S. servicemen in Kabul, and Biden shifted the blame to Trump. Peter Doocy pushed back and reminded Biden that Trump is no longer president. Biden put his elbows on the lectern and dropped his head down in disgrace. This is the correct analysis. One of the very few outlets that'll put it out there. The photo with Biden of Biden with his head down is a defining moment. This is what weakness looks like, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted, and people have been lighting him up for it. It's disgusting, the hate that has been lobbed at him. She also went on and said Joe also stared slack-jawed into the camera during his Kabul remarks. At the end of his remarks, he engaged in a long moment of silence with his head bowed. When he was done, he raised his head and said thank you, and then stared slack-jawed with vacant eyes for a few seconds before speaking again. Brought to us by Newsmax. So, Gateway Pundit, good clean reporting on that. Completely accurate. 100 over 100. Smash like to subscribe. I mean, you could not have done better than that analysis. Daily Wire. Biden crumples at mic in response to questions from Fox News about Afghanistan. John Brown writes, President Joe Biden bent over in exasperation at his podium during a back and forth with Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy regarding whether he takes responsibility for the chaos in Afghanistan on Thursday. Biden took Doocy's question last at the end of the presser, smirking him and describing him as the most interesting guy that I know in the press. Mr. President, there had not been a U.S. service member killed in combat in Afghanistan since February of 2020. Doocy began, we already set this all up. At least 13 U.S. service members have died. Yeah, GP needs to update that. After the explosion Thursday, there were at least 2 explosions. Said Friday morning there was only 1. Biden said he bears responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened of late. And if he could have stopped there, if he could have just stopped there, he would have been so much better off. Biden then challenged Doocy to answer whether or not what he was saying about the Trump administration was true. He goes, "Do you remember that? I'm being serious. Donald Trump is not president right now," Doocy responded as Biden continued to interject. "I know, but I was trying to extrapolate since, and I don't think the issue is, do you think that people have an issue with pulling out of Afghanistan the way things have happened?" Cameras in the room shuddered as Biden bent over and closed his eyes in an apparent display of irritation at Doocy's line of questioning. The recount reports. Oy. Now, that's a fairly good write-up on it. And you also have the Daily Caller, who did one as well. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'm not going to waste my time on it, or your time. Biden puts his head down after Peter Doocy reminds him he is no longer president. That is absolutely the correct analysis from Daily Caller Foundation. Here is what pissed me off. Listen to some of these remarks on Twitter. And some of these are from today. Apparently people don't watch the news on Thursday. So let's see here. And Biden head down is the search that I used. Pick of the day, Joe Biden with his head down. Photo of POTUS with his head down. As he hears, Biden used the fool Ducey shamelessly, mopped the floor with the idiot. Were you watching the same thing? All right. All right, sorry, this is taking me a second. Here we go. Wording World says the image of Biden head down is a clear symbol of the withdrawal of U.S. from Afghanistan. Attacks at the Kabul airport caused the U.S. All right. I'm very surprised. It looks like the comments are getting better. There have been so many people that have been white knighting him. It's insane. All right. I'm surprised. I think the conservatives have come back to Twitter. It's really something. Joe Biden, you did well. Perhaps head down and hand on heart is a bit like crying wolf, but yeah, no. There aren't as many as... Let's see. Biden looks incredibly frustrated right now, putting his head down on the mic. Press refuses to tell the story in a straightforward manner. This article dripping with theater criticism and breathless conjecture about what it might mean for Biden politically. Yeah, no. Dear Americans, you're doomed. Yeah, no shit. I missed I got a cuss there. Yeah, it looks like people are really lighting up to this. I had it all pulled up. Here we go. Let's go to Donald Trump Jr.'s tweet because people have been responding to Donald Trump Jr. defending him. Here we go. I'm really, really sorry you did not grow up in a loving household. Drugs, however, are not the answer. Really? Yeah, and it's just all digs on President Trump. They're not even addressing it. This is so stupid. No, that's humanity and compassion. This is weakness. How is it humanity and compassion? When you put your head down because you're frustrated that somebody actually pressed you on a topic.
Our Afghan partners out, it is bringing allies out. So no, I would not say that is anything but a success.
Yeah, that was your circle back girl saying that it's nothing but a success. Nothing but a success. All right, I'm going to take you now to a story on on GOP Newsfeed. This one was from August 25th, so this is before the terrorist attack, okay? This is a press conference August 22nd that evidenced the near complete meltdown from a visibly flustered Biden. So this head down on lectern is not the first instance. People just missed the other one, okay? And polls have just come out that the extremely public mishandling of the crisis have fueled the growing perception that he's unfit to hold office. According to a New York Post article, fewer than 40% of likely voters believe Joe Biden is carrying out the duties of the presidency, according to a poll released Friday. How insane is that? Only 39% of likely voters believe Biden is really doing the job of president. That's down from 47% in March. A majority of voters say others are making the decisions for him. And then you have his meltdown in front of the world, where he says to Ed O'Keefe, I don't trust anybody, including you. I love you, but there's not a lot of people I trust. Then O'Keefe actually turned up the heat on him. And then a question on the public response. A new poll out today shows Americans want to withdraw from Afghanistan but disapprove of the way you've handled it. The poll found that based in part of what transpired over last week, a majority of Americans, and forgive me, I'm just the messenger, because mainstream media has to soften the blow for them, no longer consider you to be competent, focused, or effective at the job. Biden quipped, I haven't seen that poll. But O'Keefe didn't let him get away from it, to his credit. It's out there from CBS this morning. O'Keefe pressed on, what would you say to those Americans who no longer believe that you are doing the job? Here it is. Hang on just a second. Let me cue this up.
Good afternoon. After a series of meetings throughout the weekend with my 3,722, look, the Taliban has a
Sorry, I had this queued up.
criticized around the world for 20 years.
Also found it based in part what's
Here we go.
Seeing whether we asked that question. Ed, fire away. I don't want you jumping over that.
Following up on Andrew's question, because the United States is now negotiating with the Taliban over airport access and such, do you now trust them? And then a question on the public response. A new poll out today shows Americans wanted to withdraw from Afghanistan, but they disapprove of the way you've handled it. Poll also found that based in part on what's transpired in the last week, the majority of Americans, forgive me, I'm just the messenger, no longer consider you to be competent, focused, or effective at the job.
I haven't seen that poll.
It's out there from CBS this morning. What would you say to those Americans who no longer believe that
Look,
you can do the job?
I had a basic decision to make. I either withdraw America from a 20-year war that, depending on whose analysis you accept, cost us $150 million a day for 20 years or $300 million a day for 20 years, who, and I carry this card to me every day, and who, in fact, where we lost 2,448 Americans dead and 20,722 wounded. Either increase the number of forces we keep there and keep that going, or I end the war. And I decided to end the war. As I said the other day, the only reason we're in Afghanistan is this is the place from which bin Laden attacked the United States of America. Had this been in another Middle Eastern country where he could have easily have moved from, we would have never gone to Afghanistan. So the question is, when is the right time to leave? Where are our national interests? Where do they lie? And the idea that we are in a situation where...
Okay, I'm just going to stop him right there. Did that in any way answer his question? He never gets to it.
We can not recognize that terrorism has metastasized around the world, and the need for us to focus on other parts of the world which create an even greater danger of an al-Qaeda-like operation beginning can't be ignored. And we are, as you well know, because you follow this, we are a number of places where we're doing that without permanent basing American forces there. So I think when this is over, the American people have a clear understanding of what I did, why we did it, and but look, that's the job. My job is to make judgments. My job is to make judgments no one else can or will make. I made them. I'm convinced I'm absolutely correct in not deciding to send more young women and men to war for a war that, in fact, is no longer warranted.
On the question of the Taliban, though,
Okay, so this is Joe Biden's entire stratagem when it comes to answering questions about Afghanistan. It is this false binary, this false dichotomy that they have created where the president, I don't like calling him the president. I really don't like calling him the president. And I hate the fact that the press is kind of training us subconsciously to do so. Where Joe Biden claims he had one of two choices. He didn't. It's a lie. It is a false choice fallacy that he only had two choices. He had two choices this month because he didn't make the correct choices 4 months ago. He backed us into this corner. This situation was manufactured, and it wasn't manufactured by Donald J. Trump. It was manufactured by Joseph Robinette Biden refusing to act decisively, refusing to live up to America's obligations. An agreement made with the United States is not an agreement that is made with that sitting president. An agreement made with the United States is one made with the nation. And as an elected official, it is incumbent upon you to live up to the agreements we make, whether you made them or whether your predecessor, who you vehemently oppose, made them. And if you choose to withdraw from them, you own the consequences. And when Biden said we would not be out by May 1st, he effectively withdrew from the Doha Agreement, just the same as when Donald Trump withdrew us from the Paris Climate Accords. Two different reasons to withdraw. One, because it's a bad deal. The other, because he wanted the war to continue, and he wanted the politically symbolic withdrawal date of September 11th. For the 20th anniversary of September 11th, which, if that doesn't make you sick to your stomach, if that doesn't give you a pit right here of just sickness, I don't know what can or what will. So many lives have been lost for politics and for theater. And the way it's all coming around, I don't know that he's going to see any circumstances. Biden must go. Biden resign. Trending throughout Twitter. Top right now is from Vincent Langman saying closing Bagram Air Base was the worst military decision in American history. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. Well, guys, we got a couple of minutes left on today's show, so I want to talk to you about a couple of things real quick. A couple of really, really simple, fundamental things. All right? First off, I talked to you about how YouTube's ganking everybody over. All right? If you haven't subscribed to YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, please do so now. If you want to support the HoloNet, have Patreon set up, have Subscribestar set up. Either one will get you signed up for the HoloNet premiere, which is my newsletter, which goes out, which contains all my written work throughout the week, so you can keep up. All right? That way you can get all this stuff ahead of time. My Pillow, fantastic way to support Mojo 50 Radio. They're a big advertiser for us right now. Also American Pride Roasters, and of course, My Patriot Supply through Prepare with Mojo 50 Radio. We need your help. Mojo 50 needs your help to grow, to expand, to bring on more great talent, to launch more great shows. Have you guys listened to Abnormal Realities yet? God, that's a good show. Ron and Rocky, man. Who'd have thought of that combo? Rocky Stucci, the emotional meatball. And Ron Phillips. Talking about aliens and crap. It's funny. It's good stuff. But for us to grow and expand, we need you. We need your help. We need you to stand with us. We need you to continue being the wonderful Jackhole audience that you are. We love you to pieces. Quick fun announcement. I'm actually going to a comedy show this evening for the first time in a long time. I'm actually going to go see Dave Landau, who is, I believe, third chair on Louder with Crowder. He's actually going to be here in Glendale tonight and checking out his show. So I'll be sure to let you know how that goes. I'll be putting some pictures up on the Twitters and up onto the Instas. I try not to use the Instas too much, but I'll try to use the Instas a little bit. But it's getting difficult. Ooh, almost knocked over my water. It's getting hard for conservative networks to succeed right now and libertarian networks to succeed. And you are the tip of the spear. Mojo 50, we are doing big things. We are pushing forward. And we can't do it without you, and I want to thank you for your support. We don't talk about the other place much, but I think it bears some stating that right now the Nazarene Fund and Mr. Beck are doing some amazing things flying people out of Afghanistan. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do so. And I think the Nazarene Fund can definitely use your support. And you can look them up there on, just Google Nazarene Fund. Here we go. Boy, that's fun how that doesn't come up. Here we go. TheNazareneFund.org, TheNazareneFund.org. They're running a special mission into Afghanistan right now. Where is that? TheNazareneFund.org. Shut up, you. Anyway, TheNazareneFund.org. It's a fantastic organization. They're actually flying people out of Afghanistan right now. Okay? They are doing what the Biden-Harris regime is failing horrifically at. And they have an autoplay video, which I can almost not forgive them for. But they have managed right now 36,000 evacuations and counting. There are so many Christians trapped in Afghanistan right now. And they're not only extracting out the Christians right now, they're extracting out more than that. So please, if you can, help them out. Help out the Nazarene Fund. Help out Mojo 50 Radio. Mojo 50 Radio. Yeah, I said it right. And I thank you for your support. Getting toward the tail end of the show. I know I spent it all ragging on Biden. I had to. This guy is not in command. His administration is dangerous. Death is in charge of the clattering train right now. Because sleep has deadened the driver's ear. The signals flash through the night in vain, for death is in charge of the clattering train. One of Winston Churchill's favorites. And I don't want Kamala Harris as president of the United States. I sure as hell don't want Nancy Pelosi as president of the United States. But you know what? If we have to deal with Kamala Harris for a year or two, more like a year before 2022 kicks in and impeachments can start rolling, then so be it. But in the meanwhile, folks, keep your heads on a swivel. Watch out for each other. Surround yourself with those of like mind and protect each other. It's going to get rough. Good night. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. From Phoenix, Arizona, I'm Matt Holloway. End transmission.